Hey everyone, welcome to RYGR Sports. I'm Yash.
And I'm Logan, and I'd like to welcome back Ryan to the show. And today we are going to be going over the two games on Sunday for the divisional round. First, at 3 o'clock, we have the Texans going to New England to take on the Pats, and we also have the Rams going to Chicago to take on the Bears. I do think the two games on Saturday are going to be better than these two games on Sunday. However, it's still a divisional round. You got to pay attention to these games. It's must watch football. As far as the Patriots and the Texans go, I think this game is going to be very similar to the Steelers and Texans game. Now, I'm not expecting a 20-point fourth quarter that the Texans, or I think it was like 27 points they scored in the fourth quarter or something like that. I don't think they score 30 points against New England, but I do think this is going to be one of those one possession games throughout the game, a low scoring battle. I don't see these two teams putting up more than 24 points. But obviously, they could surprise me and it could be a 30-27 type game. You never know. But they have the total at 40 and a half. So it is expected to be kind of low scoring. And they're giving the Patriots a -3 at home. So they're coming in as slight favorites in this game. Now, what we saw last week from the Texans defense, if they can do that again, I think they beat this Patriots team. Now, we obviously know how good the Patriots defense looked last week against Los Angeles. They completely smothered Justin Herbert, and that offense did not get anything going. And I think this is going to be a similar game. I do think the Texans put up more of a fight than what Los Angeles did. However, if Drake Maye can make a few key throws in this game and maintain the game, control the game, I don't think the Texans' offense is good enough to put up 24 points and win the game. So I think the key in this game is going to be both defenses. I think whichever defense plays better is going to win the game because obviously Patriots coming into this one 14-3. You're expected to win at home in the divisional round, so a lot of pressure on this team. If they lose this game, everyone's going to say, "Oh, number one seed for what? Drake Maye MVP for what?" So I think
Number
there is
two.
a lot of pressure on New England to win this game at home. I know the Texans have been playing probably the best football in the NFL for 2 months now, so they're extremely hot coming into this game. So I think it's going to be, if you're a fan of defense, I think this game is definitely going to be for you. If CJ Stroud can, throw for 280 and two scores, and they can get the run game going, defense makes a few turnovers, I think the Texans win it. But, the Patriots obviously have the capability of doing the exact same thing. So I'm going to take New England in a close game. I think the final in this one is going to be something like 2014 or 17-10, 17-13. I don't think they cover the 40 and a half total that they're, expecting for this game. But I'm going to take Drake Maye and the Patriots at home in a close one.
Yeah, I'm gonna go New England as well. Barely. I wouldn't be surprised if the Texans won it. Obviously, I have a little bias since I'm a Patriots fan, but I just don't think that the offensive line for the Texans is really good enough to hold up with the Patriots front four, right? I mean, we saw what they did to Justin Herbert last week, especially as of late, what they've been doing as well. I do think it's going to be very low scoring because obviously Houston's front four. I mean, their entire defense is like insane, right? I think they're the best defense this season, but that's up for grabs. But especially the way they've been playing like the last 3 4 weeks. I'm gonna go really low scoring game. I'm gonna go 19-10 New England at home. I as of right now I am watching a potential snowstorm, which obviously would affect playing conditions substantially. Obviously, I'm not 100% sure if that's going to happen, but one thing that I know for certain, it's going to be really, really cold, and it's going to be really windy, and that can really, really, affect the quarterback and a team in general, because you have to basically abandon your whole game plan for that, because it becomes more run heavy. So, 19-10 Patriots for me, and I mean, yeah, that's all I gotta say.
Yeah, my take on this game, it's going to be very defensive. Houston, man, I literally tear up watching their film because how good it is on defense. It is some of the best film I've ever seen. It reminds me of the 2013 Seahawks. It reminds me of those great defenses, the 85 Bears, those type of teams. They're on that level. So is this current Seahawks team. Talk about those type of defense. This Houston defense on every level. When you start just at the edge with Will Anderson, Daniil Hunter. You've got Sheldon Rankings as a pure one technique, three technique type player. He makes plays. He had a touchdown. That's just the D-line. They got Al-Shaair, Toho. Those linebackers hit. They don't care who they're playing against. They will hit you. Doesn't matter. Especially Al-Shaair. He's proven he will boom you. They got these safeties. Jalen Petre's a special player. You pay attention to football, you'll know who Jalen Petre is. He's a special player. And those corners, man. Derek Stingley, nothing else needs to be said about him. He's an all-time great already, and he'll continue to be an all-time great. He's already a Hall of Fame level player. And then you got a guy that's really willing to tackle. If you look on tape, he's probably one of the most physical corners in the game, Kamari Lassiter. The real question is, and this is why I don't like it when people say wins are a quarterback stat. Mr. Stroud, 5 fumbles. Got to step it up. All right, this is the playoffs. And the only reason why they won this football game is because that defense is so good. So good. So talented. 5 fumbles, 3 lost, an interception. That's 4 turnovers. Could have been 6. And a total of 6 points allowed. Mind you, Pittsburgh kicked their first field goal before Stroud's first turnover. That's technically 3 points off those turnovers. That's poor football. I thought they played really poor offensively. I thought they ran the ball okay. And Christian Kirk made plays all night long. He was their receiver at the answer at that spot because Nico Collins got hurt early. Now that's going to be a game-time decision. That will affect the game plan. You know, when you have a corner like Christian Gonzalez, also questionable for New England, that will also affect the game plan. Very talented players on both sides. Another sleeper player for New England will be Milton Williams. He's a 1 technique, 3 technique player. Sometimes we'll end up at the 2, and he can do anything. He can run stunts. He's the Super Bowl champ for a reason. People who pay attention to football know about Milton Williams. That's why he was highly paid at free agency. Drake Maye, MVP candidate, very talented. I don't know why Ramondre is the starter. I think Henderson's better, but I like that they platoon the backs. I thought Gibson injury. I like the receiving core. Obviously, Holland's injury, is unfortunate, but even Chisholm stepped up. He's a good player, and I just thought they overpowered a very weak, in my opinion, one of the worst offensive lines I've seen on film, and reminded me of some of the teams I played on. Chargers offensive line. You had guys that were ranked dead last at their Pro Football Focus ranking, or literally second to dead last. And there's guys that aren't touched on these plays, and poor Herbert is standing back there. When you get pressured 30 times as a quarterback, and you got to face the scrutiny with the social media, just overall social media crap, as I'll refer it to, because that's all it is. It's crap. It's the ultimate team game. Wins are not a quarterback stat. It's a team sport, team, keyword, team game. There's 11 guys on the field on each side of the ball, not 1. There's 11. So it's a team game. So it doesn't matter what team has a better quarterback. Yes, having the better quarterback is a huge advantage. But in this situation, in which New England has the better quarterback in mind.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you on a lot of those takes that you just said. I think, obviously, both defenses are going to be the key to the game. Texans defense averaging 17.4 points per game this year, and less than 300. They allowed less than 300 total points on the season, which is absolutely outstanding. So, I take the Patriots in a low-scoring game, but if you like defense, this one is for you. Moving on to the night game on Sunday, we have the Rams going to Chicago to take on the Bears. Now, on paper, this game is absolutely outstanding. What the Bears have done this year has been a complete surprise to everyone. Kind of a similar season to New England. No one really thought these two teams would be in this position at this point in the season. You have to give the most credit to Ben Johnson as a rookie head coach, and, Caleb Williams really taking that next step into, elite quarterback status. Maybe not elite yet, but, he's been very, very good this season. I am going to take the Rams to go on the road and win this game. For the odds, they have Seattle. I mean, not Seattle. They have the Rams by 3.5. So another close game. They have a total of 48.5, which is the highest total out of any of the division games. So we're expecting a lot of points in this game. It started at 51.5. It's moved down to 48. So a lot of people putting money on the under in this game. It's going to be very cold. I'm seeing maybe some rain in Chicago on
Snow.
Sunday.
Snow.
Snow, rain, really kind of shitty conditions potentially for this one. So quarterback play is going to be important. Maintaining the football, no fumbles. That's going to be a very important thing in this game. But at the end of the day, I trust the Rams offense more than I trust the Bears offense. Now, I know Chicago has been absolutely outstanding. That offense has been playing some very, very good football lately. Um, they came back against the Packers in the fourth quarter, scored 25 points in the fourth quarter. And so, they have nothing but momentum coming in this game. That's a very important thing in professional sports. When your team gets hot and, the confidence is up in that locker room, especially when you're playing at home, you got to give the Bears a real shot to win this game, especially because the Rams, they did not look that great last week. They gave up, I believe it was like 31 or some. How many points did they give up against Panthers?
31.
They might have given up over 30. So, that's not a good look on that defense. And Chicago has a better offense than Carolina. So I know the conditions might be bad, but, that Rams defense really has to play better than what they did last week if they want to beat this team, because Chicago is better than Carolina. If they struggle with Carolina, playing Chicago is not going to be any easier. Now, it's time for Matt Stafford to show everyone why he is this year's MVP winner. MVPs in this spot need to step up. And I do trust that offense to lead some big drives in this game. I've seen nothing from the Rams offense that leads me to believe that they won't show up. I think Sean McVay and Matt Stafford are an unbelievable duo, one of the best coached quarterback duos in the NFL. And I trust them to go on the road and get a win here. Now, I think it's important for Caleb Williams to not make any early mistakes because, as a young quarterback like him, if all of a sudden in the first quarter you make a fumble or throw an interception and, put your team in a spot where you're not in control of the game, that is not going to be good because the Rams are too good of a team to, lose control of a football game. If they create some turnovers and give their offense good positions on the field, I think they do take advantage of that and score points. So it's going to be important for Chicago not to make any stupid turnovers and, keep the passing offense a thing in this game. Because if you take away the passing offense on Chicago, I don't think DeAndre Swift is good enough to make some big runs in this game. I think the Rams defense is good enough to maintain him to under, 80 yards, 70 yards. But if Caleb Williams can step up and make a few big plays in this game, like a 30-yard touchdown throw or even a 25-yard touchdown throw, get the crowd going, then Chicago has a shot in this game. They played absolutely outstanding in that fourth quarter last week. So, momentum is a very important thing. And I know their money line right now is plus 164, which is, they're coming in they started as 4.5-point underdogs. The line has moved down to 3.5. However, I am going to take the Rams to go into Chicago and move on to the conference championship. I do think it does end up a one-possession game at the end. I am going to take the Rams to win this game 27-20. So I do think they covered that 3.5 number. But the MVP has to make some MVP plays in this game, or else Chicago's going to take advantage of that because they did last week against a really solid Green Bay team. So, it's time for the MVP to step up and, prove why he deserves the award this year. Give me the Rams by 7.
All right, so I'm going to go the Bears for this game. Obviously, the conditions as of right now aren't looking that ideal. It's going to be really cold. At the time of the start of the game, the wind chill is going to be, in the single digits, and throughout the game, it's just going to keep dropping. We're looking at, in the negatives, which is obviously really hard to play with, especially when you get hit. A lot of people don't realize, they're sitting at home, they're just watching in their, on their couch with a blanket over them. They really don't understand how much it hurts or how much it stings when you get hit, especially in the cold weather. Your hands are going to be jamming up, and I think that's really going to cost the Rams, some points because, obviously Matthew Stafford played in Detroit. I do understand Ford Field is a closed stadium, but he had to play in Green Bay. He had to play in Minnesota at that time, which didn't have a closed stadium. He obviously had to play in Chicago as well. So it's not new to him, but, the rest of the Rams, I don't think they're going to be up to the cold temperatures they're going to have. Meanwhile, the Bears are just coming off a huge win last week. They have all this momentum. They're obviously accustomed to the cold at this point. I think it's going to be a really close ball game. I think it's going to be really low scoring just because of the weather conditions. I'm going to go 25-19 Bears with a late game-winning touchdown drive like they always have pulled off in the fourth quarter. I'm going to say Caleb Williams has like not much, maybe like 220 yards, a passing touchdown, and then maybe an interception. I'm going to do about the same thing for Matthew Stafford, maybe like 250, a touchdown, a pick. I think this game is primarily going to come down to the run game and the field goal kicking because it is hard to kick a field goal when it's that cold as well. Scientifically, there's not enough lift on the ball, or you don't really know exactly where you're kicking it. So they have to make sure that they're really getting down the field. And if they get into the red zone, they have to convert because field goals aren't really going to win you games here. Like, you have to go score. You have to get your extra points as well. I don't think the Rams are going to be able to do that. That's why I'm going the Bears. But, Ryan, what's your take on it?
I like both teams' offensive lines. I think they block well in the run game. I think they're very persistent schematically. Ben Johnson is a game changer for Chicago. He has single-handedly turned this team from, laughable offensive scheme. Everyone laughed. When teams used to play the Bears, it was like, wow, we're really going to allow 10 points this week, everyone. It's going to be an easy game. We're getting 3 interceptions, and we're going to win by 20. Now, it's not like that anymore. The Bears actually have an offense. They have a run game. They have a very good passing game. They have weapons all around. You have guys like Colston Loveland and Kyle Monangai from the draft this year that have just made instant impacts. Even Luther Burden as well in that draft. They had an amazing draft. You have DJ Moore, obviously, in that huge trade with Carolina that just changed really everything, getting Caleb Williams on this team. As much as people judge him off the field, I specifically only watch him on the field, and on the field he makes some insane throws. On 4th and 8, when they needed him the most, when Green Bay, a decimated Green Bay team, when losing Micah really hurt them. People don't understand how good Micah is. People don't understand how valuable Micah is. People don't understand that Micah is a guy that you really should never trade away. If someone hears me, you know who I'm talking about. But yeah, losing him hurt Green Bay, and he was able to convert that 4th and 8 to Rome Odunze. He was able to guide that touchdown drive down to Zacchaeus. He was able to run that little smoke and go. Man, that corner for Green Bay was lost, man. He was lost. They ran a smoke and go. Caleb's eyes go directly to number 1, and then you just see DJ Moore run right open on the seam. I'm like, oh my goodness, Ben Johnson did it again. It was stone cold killer stuff. All-time rivalry football. That was an amazing win. And then you got the Rams with Stafford, man. Sean McVay, these guys have done it before. They won the Super Bowl. They've been champions before. They can win in all different ways. Colby Parkinson. Like, these guys just come out of the blue, man. And then you got Devontae and Puka, Jared Verse, all these playmakers. I'm going to take the Rams, and I'm going to take the Rams in a very medium-scoring game, in my opinion, at 23-20. And I'll have a, late field goal 30-yarder by Joshua Carty. Or whoever actually they have that thicker kicker now, whatever his name is. You guys know what I'm talking about. The Rams. He's a dude for a kicker, bro.
Yeah, dude, he's a unit.
It's crazy. The kickers I've played would look like this, but
yeah,
I got him making like a late 30-yard field goal with them, managing time. That's the way you win these games in the playoffs is time management, making these coaches use timeouts, and I got the Rams winning like 23-20. Sean McVay going up against Seattle in the NFC title game.
Yeah, that would certainly be like my dream NFC championship, of course. To see those two teams play again after that crazy overtime game would be cinema. So all three of us have this game as a one-possession game. Me and Ryan are going to go with the Rams. Yasha's going to take Chicago at home. But that about wraps it up for our preview regarding these two games on Sunday. Leave a comment down below if you guys have any predictions. You can leave a comment and we'll reply and let you know our thoughts. But yeah, if you guys don't have anything else to add regarding these two games, no? All right, we will see you guys next episode. Special thanks to Ryan for coming on for these two videos, giving some real nice insight on his football knowledge. But we will see you guys in our next episode. Hope you enjoyed.
All right. Thank you, Ryan.